Once, the sun never set on the British Empire. They won the war, but lost everything.
Britain once ruled the waves and half the world beneath them. From Africa to Asia, from the Caribbean to the Pacific, the sun never set on the British Empire. Its flag fluttered across continents. Its navy commanded every ocean, and its merchants filled the world's ports with goods, gold, and ambition. London was not just a city. It was the heartbeat of civilization, the capital of an empire so vast that dawn broke on one colony as night fell on another. In marble halls and smoky taverns alike, the British believed they had conquered time itself. It was an empire built on trade, on invention, and on power. Steam, steel, and ships made Britain the world's workshop. From the mills of Manchester to the docks of Liverpool, from the tea plantations of India to the mines of Africa, the empire pulsed with energy. The world's riches flowed through London's banks, and the British pound became the coin of global trust. Yet behind the grandeur, cracks were forming, faint but real. No empire can stand forever, and history has a way of reminding even the mighty of their limits. The 1930s arrived with a strange unease. Britain still stood tall, proud, confident, certain of its place atop the world. The Union Jack waved over nearly a quarter of the Earth's people. But beyond the parades and the pride, the world was changing. Across the Atlantic, a young America grew restless and rich. Across the Pacific, Japan rose with industrial fury. And in the heart of Europe, Germany rearmed, burning with revenge for the war that had nearly destroyed it 2 decades before. The winds of change were gathering, but Britain, wrapped in its own traditions, did not yet feel the storm. When the storm came, it came with fire. September 1939, the world was once again at war. Britain, the empire of old, stood defiant against a new kind of enemy. But this time, it wasn't fighting to expand its dominion, it was fighting to survive. The Luftwaffe darkened the skies above London. Bombs fell like rain, lighting the night with fire and death. Families hid in underground tunnels, clutching one another as the walls trembled. Children slept to the rhythm of sirens. The empire that had ruled so many now faced its own destruction. And yet, through the smoke and terror, one voice rose, calm, unbroken, immortal. "We shall never surrender." Churchill's words echoed through the nation, through the rubble, through history itself. Britain was bruised, bleeding, but unyielding. Factories worked day and night. Men fought, women built, and children carried hope where strength had faded. By 1945, the war was over. Hitler was gone. The Union Jack still flew. Britain had survived, but victory had come at a cost too high to count. The cities were ruins. Its economy was drained. Its empire, once the envy of the world, was now bankrupt. The victory parades could not hide the truth. The war that had saved Britain had also broken it. Across the Atlantic, the United States had risen untouched by destruction, its factories booming, its wealth unmatched. America became what Britain once was, the lender, the leader, the superpower. The balance of power had shifted forever. The empire that once commanded the world now borrowed from Washington to stay afloat. In the East, India's patience had run out. 1 billion voices rose in peaceful rebellion, demanding freedom. The jewel in the crown slipped away, followed by wave after wave of independence movements. Across Africa, Asia, and the Caribbean, new nations were born from the ashes of empire. Each new flag that replaced the Union Jack was another heartbeat fading from the body of a once unstoppable power. By the early 1950s, the empire that spanned the globe was dissolving into memory. Then came 1956, the Suez Crisis. Britain tried to show the world that it still mattered, that it could still command the seas. Troops were sent, ships were deployed. The old pride stirred again. But this time, America said no. Without Washington's approval, Britain had no strength left to stand on its own. The illusion shattered. The world no longer feared Britain's navy. It pitted it. The empire's final mask had fallen. Its power was gone, its influence a shadow of what it once was. The 1960s arrived with color, rebellion, and change. The old world gave way to the new. The Beatles sang, youth danced, and Britain found a new kind of power. Not in empire, but in culture. Its music, its fashion, its art conquered hearts where its armies once had. It was no longer a ruler of nations, but a creator of dreams. The empire of guns and ships was gone, replaced by an empire of words, ideas, and melodies. Britain had transformed, not vanished, but reborn. Yet, in the quiet corners of old London, a certain sadness lingers. Beneath the grandeur of its museums, beneath the marble statues of kings and conquerors, lies the echo of what was lost. The docks that once sent fleets across the world now host tourists and silence. The palaces still shine, but their glory feels borrowed from the past. The empire that once wrote the rules of the world now studies them in history books. The red lines on the old maps have faded, but the stories they left behind still shape the modern age. Because the empire never truly disappeared, it dissolved into legacy. The English language circles the globe. British inventions define modern life. Its legal systems, its parliaments, its literature, all remain woven into the world's foundation. The empire's shadow still stretches across time, long after the sun set on its power. Britain no longer rules the world, but it still whispers through it. Britain won the war, but in winning, it lost everything that had once defined it. Its empire, its wealth, its dominance, all gone. What remained was something humbler, perhaps wiser. A nation no longer feared, but respected. No longer commanding, but contributing. It became a storyteller of its own past, a witness to its own transformation. The conqueror had become the chronicler. The sun that never set has finally faded, not into darkness but into reflection. Because no victory is free, and no power lasts forever. Empires rise, empires fall, and time spares no throne. Britain's story is not one of defeat, but of awakening. An empire that learned that power cannot outlive purpose. The cannons have gone silent, the ships have stopped sailing, but the memory remains, bright, haunting, eternal. Britain won the war and lost everything, and in that loss, perhaps it finally found itself.